Some scary stories involve ghosts, monsters, or things that can't be explained. But sometimes the scariest stories are the ones where there is a very real person outside your house. This story was shared on Reddit after a question asked users about the creepiest thing they'd ever heard at night. Let's call the person in the story Ryan. One night around 2022, Ryan was home alone with his dog. He had gone to bed and was just starting to fall asleep when a strange sound woke him up. Someone was screaming. The scream seemed to be coming from somewhere in the distance. At first, Ryan wasn't too worried. There were plenty of kids in the neighborhood, so he assumed they were probably outside playing or messing around. Then about 10 minutes later, he heard it again. This time the scream was louder. Another 10 minutes passed. Then it happened again. Only now, the sound seemed much closer. Ryan's dog suddenly started growling toward the direction of the noise. That's when Ryan began to feel that something was seriously wrong. He checked the doors and made sure everything was locked. Then he waited. A few minutes later, the screaming came again, but this time it was incredibly loud. It sounded like the person was right outside his bedroom window. His dog went crazy, barking and scratching at the glass. Ryan was terrified. He didn't know who was outside or what was happening, so he stayed under his blankets and waited for the noise to stop. Eventually, everything went completely silent. Ryan slowly built up the courage to look outside. He looked through the window. There was nobody there. The front yard was completely empty. For a moment, he thought maybe he had imagined the whole thing. Then several police cars suddenly pulled into the neighborhood. Officers jumped out with flashlights and began searching the area. Ryan watched from inside, confused and frightened. Something serious had clearly happened. The next morning, Ryan asked his neighbors what was going on. That's when he finally learned the truth. A patient had escaped from a nearby psychiatric hospital and had been running through the neighborhood during the night, screaming. But there was an even more disturbing detail. The person was carrying a knife. And that's when Ryan realized why the screams had sounded so close. The escaped patient had actually run directly past Ryan's bedroom window. Then, instead of continuing down the street, they crawled underneath the steps leading to his front porch. Still carrying the knife, Ryan had been inside his house, listening to the screaming, completely unaware that the person was hiding just outside. If he had opened the door, if he had gone outside to investigate, he could have come face to face with someone armed with a knife. Thankfully, the police found the person before anyone was hurt and took them back into custody. But Ryan was left with one terrifying thought. The screams he thought were coming from somewhere far away had actually been coming from just outside his home. And if he had decided to investigate that night, the story could have ended very differently. This is Finite Stories. And sometimes the best thing you can do when you hear something strange at night is stay inside and leave it alone.